Hi, this is Charlotte from Yarns About Yarn, and today's tutorial is to show you how to make these butterfly yarn bobbins. A bobbin is really just a smaller ball of yarn, and these particular butterfly bobbins work really well when you're doing a lot of color work, say tapestry, intarsia. And in my case, I used it to make this corner to corner graphgan, which is my Sly the Fox baby blanket. And as you can see, there's a variety of colors. There's a gold color, a pumpkin, a white, and a black color. And these areas, some of these areas used smaller, and there's also the blue obviously for the background, but some of these areas used, it was useful to use the bobbins because you can carry the yarn sometimes, and sometimes you can't carry the yarn and you have to cut it off and have balls of yarn. The big balls can get twisted up and tangled, where the bobbins are a little easier to manage. So I'm going to show you how to make these bobbins, and first to determine how much yardage to put into each bobbin. Sometimes it's just a guessing game, and you have to guess at it when you're doing other projects. But for this particular project, graphgan, what I did was I made one tile, one of the little squares. I crocheted it up, and then I pulled it out, frogged it and pulled it out, and determined that it took me approximately just a little under a meter or about a yard, depending upon what system of measurement you use to do one. So for an area like this, I would count how many tiles I needed. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 tiles. So I measured out 13 meters of yarn. And I always give a little extra so that you've got some wiggle room and you don't run short you don't have to play yarn chicken then. And then once I have work that out, I have my piece of yarn, which is the length that I've measured off and want. And to make these little butterfly bobbins, what you do is you start leaving a longer tail, and then I just make a figure 8 around my fingers. And I continue to wrap that yarn around my fingers until I am almost at the end. So I have a little bit left over. When I get to that point, I slip it off my fingers, holding it in the middle section, and taking the end, not the starting tail that I started with, but the end of the yarn, and I wrap it around the middle. And you don't have to wrap it real tight. You want to have it secure enough that it holds the bobbin in place, but not too tight that you can't pull your yarn out as you need it. So I wrap it around, and then just find a spot to loop it around itself to sort of make a little knot of sorts so that it'll stay in place. And that's your yarn bobbin. Now, once you have those bobbins for an Afghan project like this, what's nice about these colored bobbins is you can then take them when you're not using them, and you can clip it to your project. I just have these big paper clips that I use, and the yarn would be attached to my project here, and I can clip the colors along the edge of my project, and as I require it, unclip it and then work with it. So it prevents the balls from getting all tangled up and you having to stop and untangle them. So it's kind of convenient that way. Now the nice thing about these butterfly bobbins is how they unfurl. So just by, this would be, as I said, the starting working tail, and just by pulling it, you'll see that it just pulls out of the bobbin quite nicely without getting knotted up. And you can pull it out right to the end, and you use up the end, and that's why you don't want to make a tight knot at the end, because you want to use it right to the end. So once again, I'm going to just show you how to do it. Start with a longer tail, which would be the tail that you would start to crochet with. Just kind of hold it in place until you get this figure 8 made, and continue wrapping it around in this figure 8. And when you get close to the end, slip it off, hold it in the middle so it doesn't come apart. That's my starting tail. And the ending tail is the one that I'm going to take, and I'm going to wrap it around the middle. And then at the end here, find a spot to tuck it under and secure it in place. And there's your butterfly bobbin. Looks like a butterfly. That's why they call them butterfly bobbins. If you found this tutorial helpful, could you please like it and subscribe to my channel, as I've always got new things that I'm learning that I like to share along with you. I always have new things that I'm learning that I like to share with you. So check back frequently and see what tips and techniques I've got going on. So this is Charlotte from Yarns About Yarn, and until next time, as always, peace and blue skies.